Hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. For return viewers, welcome back. For new viewers, my name is Dennis Akoyo Alitsi, and I would have said that in this channel we dissect matters finance, teach each other how to do budgeting, how to track your expenses, and how to invest. But today I was even thinking and wondering, what am I going to do a video about? And it has taken me time to really come up with this idea because you see, I was in my comfort zone for the past 5 6 days. I've been sharing content on matters finance, which I think most of you who have been watching have benefited from the same. But today I just feel relaxed. Actually, it is close to 9 p.m. And as you can see, I don't know whether you can see this logo here. So this logo is written Race of Resilience. This is a play which we did in some certain high school. So that is my hobby, and I make my hobby work for me. So I like acting, I like directing. I'm a renowned scriptwriter in the Kenya National Drama Festival, and I've directed several institutions. So by directing, at least, yeah, I had some souvenir with me, and I decided to put it on today in the evening. So, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about today? So, personally, I work from home, I work remotely, and there are several advantages about working remote. Is first of all, you can work from everywhere. There is good work-life balance, which everybody looks for. And the most important thing is you can do your things, man. You can spend time with your family, spend time with your kids. And as we progress, you'll notice that I'll start doing content about work from home dad. How do I coordinate all these things together? And before I managed to get this remote job, I was working. I've been privileged. Sorry, I've been privileged to work in almost all shifts. There is a time I was working 8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. shift. Then I came to start working 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift, or at times I worked 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. shift. Then there was also a job which I was working from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I want to tell you, man, it wasn't easy because I remember I used to live along Thika Road, so I used to go to town. Then when we reach GPO, we are all picked up. Then we are taken to work, and it meant that by 6 I'm in town because the cars were available between 6 to 7. Then you reach at the town, you eat until around 9 p.m. Then that is when now you go to work, and you're working overnight. And something good that that job did was at least to give us a cup of tea before morning. So when you teach, I've forgotten, but I think around 12 p.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. they used to give us tea. So at least you go there, you take your tea, you get some warmth, then you go back to the floor and continue working. So it was some sort of experience. And luckily, 3 years ago, I landed this job, and it has been the best decision that I ever made. It has been the most important blessing as far as job and all that hassle is concerned. I really thank God for this because there is just some high level of work life balance. Trust me, remote is the best thing you can ever wish for remote working. Apart from that, I also do some businesses, but that is something which we'll talk on different clips. So for today, I just wanted to come. It has been really an express week for me, shooting videos back to back on matters finance. Yeah, and I just wanted my viewers today to know me. But as much as there is too much advantage on remote work, there is also some downsides of remote working. Mostly, if you're not keen enough, you might end up losing yourself, man. And you can follow me on LinkedIn, by the way. I usually do some posts on content when it comes to management, consulting, etc. And my name on LinkedIn is just Dennis Akoyo. So when you go on LinkedIn, you'll be able to find me there, go through my posts, and if you need to do any consultation, please feel free to reach out to me on my email. It should be, I'll put it on the description. If you need any guidance on anything when it comes to how you're supposed to build your career, how you're supposed to apply for remote jobs, how you're supposed to tailor your CV. Because at times people are out there saying, I'm applying, but I'm not getting any response. That's the nature of applications, by the way. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to increase your chances. You're supposed to be competitive. So if you have just one CV, what I advise you is always tailor your CV to the job that you want to apply to. Okay? So you pick your CV, tailor it to the job that you want to apply to, and that's it. Because if you just use one CV, you one CV to apply for every job, there is a high chance you'll take a longer time in the market, unless maybe things happen otherwise. Okay, with that said and done, today I want us to jump on the downsides of remote working, because I have decided before I give you anything to show the benefits, I first must talk about the downsides. Because you see, one thing with social media, you'll always find the good side of things. You see the way it's merry. Dennis is working remote, everything is working for him. But in real sense, my friend, you have to learn. Because for me, I had to learn. And one day I will tell you a story of why I was forced to come out of my comfort zone and be keen with my health and my lifestyle. Okay? But before we go into that, today let us talk about remote work burnout. Burnout. Burnout is that point where you reach and it is clear that you are tired mentally, you're tired physically, you're tired emotionally. There is some burnout that you are experiencing, and this burnout can make you even be depressed or something. It can make something good be cause more harm to you than the good it can actually bring. Now, one thing most people who are working remotely, they don't know how to set boundaries. And when I say boundaries, is for you to understand when you're supposed to start working and when you're supposed to stop working. It is an 8 to 5 job. At times, people work this graveyard shift. Graveyard shift is that shift where you start working when people are asleep. I think that's the best explanation I can give. When people are asleep, you are there looking for money. You are there on the floor. Like the job I was doing 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, that was some graveyard shift. So you don't know how to set boundaries. So you wake up in the morning, or rather you wake up very late at 10 when you're supposed to already log in at 8 a.m. Then instead of logging out at 5 p.m., you are there working till late. So you don't know how to set boundaries as far as your working hours is concerned. So like the kind of job I'm doing, it is open. There is very minimal supervision, by the way, and that means you're supposed to be self-controlled. We don't have working hours in the job that I'm doing. So basically, you're supposed to understand how best you are dividing your time. What am I supposed to be doing when? Am I a good time manager? Can I work under very minimal supervision? But in most remote jobs, like the call center jobs, the personal assistant jobs, you're working, you're told between 8 to this time, you're supposed to be working. So you must make sure you work between that time. And you tend to lose yourself because sometimes you're overwhelmed with work. So instead of logging out at 5, you're logging out at 11 p.m. in the night. Then instead of logging back at 8 a.m., you're logging back almost at 5 a.m. So there is that burnout. You are tired emotionally, physically, psychologically. You are not even motivated to be productive in any way. So what am I saying? I'm saying that you need to set clear boundaries so that you can take charge of your mentally and uh, situations, and be able to recharge for the next day. So that is one very key thing that remote workers really face. And even at times, you find out that you're not logging in on time, and you find out that you're not finishing your work on time because you don't know how to prioritize your tasks. Then at the end of the day, you're not productive, and your company comes and tells you, my friend, I think this is where our journey ends. Again, you fall into depression. You had an opportunity, you didn't know how to best manage yourself, and that's it. Now, another thing that you're supposed to know is that even when you're working remotely, please take breaks. It's never that serious. Take a break. And in fact, for somebody who's working remotely, remember, you're not working in the office whereby lunch break you're leaving the office like the way I'm sorry to say this, man, and I'm not insulting anyone, but you see the way high school students, they are usually controlled by the bell. So when you're working on the office and it is lunch break, it is lunch break. You always know it is 1 p.m. Everybody's walking out of the office. Or those who have packed lunch, they are going to the microwave to warm their food so that they can come back re-energized. So when you're working remotely, it's different. Nobody will tell you this. Mostly for those people who are living alone. You are there, you are a bachelor or you're a spinster, you're living alone in your own house, and time just keeps on going away. You wake up at 8, you're on your machine. The next time you leave your machine is 5 p.m. You've not taken any break. You've not taken any food. Or if you've taken food, you just have snacks on your table. So you're just taking food. But you don't understand the concept of coming out of your machine and just going to chill on your sofa. Take 5, take 30, take 1 hour, relax. Then come back when you've planned yourself well, energized. So the important thing is take a break, or else burnout is real in remote working. It is very, very real. Then prioritize your self-care. You see, we always hate, by the way, this 8 to morning thing. I don't love it at all. When you're leaving your house at 8, then you are coming back at 5, you tend to lose 3 hours on the road. Mostly for those people who come in those places where you're affected with traffic. You have to wake up as early as 5:30, you're on the road. So as you reach town at 8, you reach at work when you're already tired, you're already exhausted. Now, one thing with remote working is you can even sleep 5 minutes to your meeting. That is when you wake up, go log in, and you're in the meeting. On top here, you've wearing your suit, but at the bottom, you have your box or your panty. You're in your boxers or you're in your panty. And you see, such things, that's what I'm saying. It comes from discipline. Because even if you're working from home, you're supposed to wake up early, take a shower, take your tea. If you're that guy of tea. Personally, I don't take tea in the morning. I just take warm water, or I just do some intermittent fasting. That's it. So if you're that kind of person, you're supposed to come well groomed. There is no one who is seeing you, but you're just supposed to maintain the professionalism. Because you see, the things that you do when you're alone, that is the real you. That is what will define you. Okay? So, prioritizing your self care is when you wake up in the morning and you're on your machine, you leave your machine in the evening, then you just go and sit on the sofa, take your snacks, eat, and sleep. You will die. You will die of lifestyle diseases. Remember, every day you must do something, even if it is an exercise for 15 minutes. And after work, when you have already logged off, kindly take a walk, 6,000 steps. Let your body reset. Do something to stimulate your body. Okay? Another thing, avoid eating all these snacks. You're working from home, every now and then you leave your desk, you go to your sitting room or your kitchen, you are chewing something. You leave your kitchen somewhere else, you're chewing something. You're not taking care of yourself. Then you started working remotely in January. By the end of February, we meet you and we can't even recognize who you are because you're either fat, you can't even walk. Remember, and fat, remember, take care of yourself. Walk out there. Do some self-care for yourself, or else burnout. Burnout. Why? Because you just sat somewhere, you're doing your work in the morning, you rarely even leave your house. It takes a week, you rarely leave your house because what are you doing? I'm working from home. It is okay, but at the end of the day, the risks that you put your body in are way too much and they will be so expensive. So take care of yourself and prevent burnout. Now, another thing is stay connected, man. Remote working can do wonders to you. Have you ever sat in your house, you're working remotely, and no one has called you Monday, Tuesday, until it reaches Wednesday, and you're like, did they disband the company I'm working for? Where is everyone? You start wondering, okay, is what I'm doing wrong? It messes with you psychologically. Trust me, it does. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stay connected with the people you're working with. So if you're working with even people who are spread across the country, even send a chat, say, hi, how are you doing? how's your project, how is work? Okay, on my end is good. Make sure you keep tabs to your workmates. If you're working in a team, make sure you keep tabs to your team members. That will even enhance your skills when it comes to being a good team player, because being a team player is not just being given a task and working as a team. No, it is even that point where you just have to reach at someone and say, hey, how are you doing? By the way, happy birthday to you. That's being a team player, man. So make sure you stay connected with the people you're working with. Make sure you do several virtual calls, and if there is even somebody who's close to you, it won't hurt if you go to have a coffee with them. It won't hurt. Okay. Then recognize the signs of burnout, please. You're supposed to be very attentive. Attentive. Pay attention to your body. If you are so demotivated, if you're so exhausted, if it reaches a time where your habits are so consistent and there is nothing new or exciting happening into your life, you're supposed to understand that, my friend, this is the moment I need to change my habits. And mostly you'll find that these are people who they wake up in between meetings. You have a meeting at 8, you wake up at 7:58. You have a meeting at 1 p.m., you wake up at 12:55. You don't do anything. The only thing that you do is attending meetings, going back to sleep, or grabbing that snack by your side. At the end of the day, you are there, Netflix, chill and Netflix with some popcorns. You have not done even a 15 minutes exercise. You have not taken a walk. And with all these things, my friend, it won't take a lot of time. Burnout will hit you so hard. So make sure you recognize the signs of burnout and try and work on them. Now, as I said, remote work can be very, very rewarding. But if you don't understand the dynamics of remote work, you stand to lose a lot than what you will have gained. Mostly your lifestyle can be your ruin. If you don't, the people who wake up in the morning to go to work and back in the evening, they do a lot to their bodies. That is some exercise and some stimulation. You get? So they stay fit, they lose fat, they try and exercise, because that walking to stage back, to work back, that is exercising. That is one thing that remote workers don't have. So it is you to be self-disciplined. It is you to push yourself. It is you to identify all these things. Then recollect yourself and tell myself, okay, I'm blessed with working remotely, but I need to have my personal timetable. If you have a call at 8, please wake up at 6, meditate. After you've meditated, go take a shower, go prepare something, put on some good clothes, then report to work. Maintain the professionalism away from the office. Okay? Because I'm imagining, assuming you've come with your boxer and here you have a suit, then maybe something happens and you have to stand and close the door and this camera is looking at you. You'll embarrass yourself. But if you're doing the right thing, then you'll be at peace. So let's enjoy remote working, but maintain a good lifestyle. Because if we don't, then we stand at the brink of losing ourselves. And burnout can really burn you out. With that said and done, if you like my content, please like, share, subscribe at the bottom of the screen. I really do appreciate you for sticking to the end with me. And yeah, have a good night for those who are in Kenya. For those who are elsewhere, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Have a good one.